Commander Lisa Rodriguez walked through the long metal hallway of Harmony Point Space Station. Her black boots made soft sounds on the floor as she moved toward the meeting room. The walls around her were painted white and covered with small lights that made everything look clean and bright. She could see Earth spinning slowly below them like a blue and green marble. Today was the most important day in human history. The aliens were coming to talk. Lisa stopped at a mirror and checked her uniform. Everything had to be perfect. The blue fabric was smooth and straight. Her short brown hair was neat. The gold stars on her shoulders showed she was in charge. She took a deep breath and kept walking. The meeting room was at the end of the hallway. 2 guards stood by the door. They looked nervous, but tried to hide it. One of them nodded at Lisa as she passed. "Commander," he said quietly. "Everything ready?" Lisa asked. "Yes, ma'am." The aliens arrived 20 minutes ago. Lisa felt her heart beat faster. She'd been preparing for this meeting for months. The whole human race was counting on her to do this right. She put her hand on the door handle and paused for a moment. Inside the room, Captain Jake Morrison was already waiting. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. Next to him sat Dr. Amy Patterson, a smart woman who knew more about alien life than anyone else on Earth. They both looked up when Lisa entered. "Are you ready for this?" Jake asked. Lisa sat down in her chair at the big table, as ready as anyone can be for meeting beings from another world. Dr. Patterson opened her notebook. "Remember what we discussed? They think we are primitive. They believe humans are too emotional to be trusted. We need to show them we can be calm and reasonable." "I know," Lisa said. "Stay cool. Don't react. Show them we can control ourselves." The door on the other side of the room opened with a soft hiss. 3 tall figures walked in. Lisa had seen pictures of the Veilthians before, but seeing them in person was different. They were almost 7 feet tall and very thin. Their skin was blue like ice and seemed to glow from the inside. Each one had 4 eyes arranged in a square pattern on their face. When they moved, it was like watching water flow. The leader stepped forward. His voice was high and musical, but somehow cold at the same time. "I am High Counselor Zareth of the Veilthian Empire. We have traveled far to speak with your kind." Lisa stood up. "Welcome to Harmony Point. I am Commander Lisa Rodriguez of the United Earth Federation. These are Captain Jake Morrison and Dr. Amy Patterson." Zareth looked at them with all 4 eyes. The other 2 aliens stayed behind him like shadows. They did not speak or even move much. "Please sit," Lisa said, pointing to the chairs across the table. The aliens sat down, but they did it in a strange way. They seemed to float down into their seats instead of just sitting like humans do. Zareth placed his long hands on the table. His fingers were twice as long as human fingers. "We have been watching your species for many years," Zareth said. "Know about your wars. We know about your violence. Know about your anger and fear." Lisa kept her face calm, but inside she felt upset. The way he talked made it sound like humans were bad. "We have also seen your potential," Zareth continued. "With proper guidance, humans might one day join the galactic community. But first, you must prove you can overcome your primitive nature." Dr. Patterson leaned forward. "What exactly do you mean by primitive nature?" Zareth's 4 eyes blinked. "One at a time. Your emotions, your unpredictable behavior, your tendency toward violence when threatened. These are signs of a young species that has not yet learned wisdom." Jake's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Lisa could see he was working hard to stay calm. "The Veilthian Empire has brought peace to over 1,000 worlds," Zareth went on. "We have ended wars. We have stopped suffering. We've taught countless species to put aside their base instincts and embrace logical thinking." "That sounds wonderful," Lisa said carefully. "How did you do that?" "By removing the source of chaos," Zareth replied. "Emotions cloud judgment. Fear leads to bad decisions. Anger causes destruction. Love makes beings act foolishly. When a species learns to suppress these feelings, they become capable of true civilization." The room was quiet for a moment. Lisa could hear the soft hum of the air recycling system. Outside the window, a small ship drifted past the station. We have prepared a series of tests for humanity, Zareth announced. If you pass them, we will. Consider accepting your species into our coalition. You will receive our technology, our knowledge, and our protection. What kind of tests? Lisa asked. One of the other aliens moved forward and placed a small device on the table. Images appeared in the air above it, showing human cities and spaceships. First, you must disarm your military forces, Zeroth said. Weapons are tools of emotion, not logic. A peaceful species has no need for such things. Lisa felt her stomach drop. All of our military? Every ship? Every weapon? Every soldier must return to civilian life. Jake started to speak, but Lisa held up her hand to stop. Second Zareth continued, you must allow Velthian advisors to oversee your government. Humans are too young to make important decisions alone. We will guide you until you learn proper self-control. The images changed to show alien ships hovering over Earth. Lisa's hands clenched under the table where the aliens could not see them. Third, your colony worlds must be relocated. You have spread too far too fast. This shows impatience and greed. You will choose better places for humans to live. Dr. Patterson could not stay quiet anymore. You want us to abandon our homes? They are poorly chosen locations, Zareth replied without emotion. You will find suitable worlds where humans can live under proper supervision. Lisa looked at Jake and Amy. She could see the anger in their eyes, but they were both trying to follow the plan. Stay calm, don't react. Show the aliens that humans could control themselves. These are significant changes, Lisa said slowly. We would need time to consider them. Of course, Zareth said. We are not unreasonable. You have 72 of your hours to accept our terms. After that, we will assume humanity is not ready for advancement and we will leave your system forever. The alien stood up and the other two followed him like puppets. We will return in 3 days for your answer, Zareth said. I hope you will choose wisdom over emotion. He walked out of the room as quietly as they had entered, leaving the 3 humans alone with their thoughts and the weight of an impossible choice. 2 days had passed since the first meeting. Lisa Rodriguez sat in her small office on Harmony Point, staring at reports that made her feel sick. The military leaders on Earth were angry. The colony governors were scared. Everyone wanted to know what the aliens really meant by their demands. Lisa had not slept much. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Zareth's cold face and heard his voice talking about human emotions like they were a disease. She kept thinking about the impossible choice they had been given. Give up everything that made them human, or lose the chance to join the galaxy forever. A soft knock on her door made her look up. Jake Morrison walked in with a cup of coffee and sat down across from her desk. Any word from Earth? He asked. The president called an emergency meeting with all the world leaders, Lisa said. They are arguing about what to do. Some want to accept the alien terms. Others want to tell them to leave and never come back. Jake sipped his coffee. What do you think we should do? Lisa rubbed her tired eyes. I don't know, Jake. Maybe the aliens are right. Maybe we are too emotional. Maybe we do need someone to guide us. You don't really believe that? Look at our history, Lisa said. Wars, violence, suffering. Maybe if we had been more logical, more calm, we could have avoided all of that pain. Jake leaned forward. Maybe if we had been more calm, we never would have built spaceships to reach the stars. Maybe we would still be living in caves. Afraid to try anything new? Before Lisa could answer, her computer beeped. A message appeared on the screen. The aliens were ready for the second meeting. An hour later, Lisa sat in the same meeting room as before. The broken pieces of trust from the first meeting seemed to hang in the air like dust. Jake and Dr. Patterson sat beside her, both looking tense. The big table between them and the aliens felt like a wall. Zareth entered with his 2 silent companions. This time, he did not wait for greetings. He sat down and immediately began speaking. We have been monitoring your communications, he said. His 4 eyes looked at each human in turn. We know about the military movements on your colony worlds. We know about the weapon tests on Mars. We know about the secret meetings between your leaders. Lisa felt her heart sink. They had tried to be careful, but the aliens had been watching everything. This is exactly what we expected, Zeroth continued. Deception, lies, preparation for violence. Your species cannot help itself. Those were routine exercises, Lisa said quickly. Standard procedures that happen every month. Nothing was aimed at you or your people, lies Zareth replied flatly. You speak of peace while preparing for war. You smile while hiding weapons. This proves everything we have said about human nature. Dr. Patterson tried to speak. Hi, Counselor. If you would let me explain the psychological reasons for these defensive responses. Silence. Zareth's voice cut through the air like a knife. We did not come here to listen to excuses about your flawed thinking. We came to deliver new terms. The alien placed another device on the table. New images appeared in the air. Lisa saw human ships being destroyed, cities burning, people running in fear. This is what will happen if you continue on your current path, Zareth said. Your emotions will lead you to fight wars you cannot win. Your anger will destroy worlds. Your fear will make you attack innocent beings. We're not planning to attack anyone, Jake said through gritted teeth. You already are, Zareth replied. The weapons you build, the soldiers you train, the defenses you prepare, all of this comes from fear and aggression. A truly peaceful species would need none of these things. The images changed again. Now they showed human children being taken from their families and put into large white buildings. Because your species cannot control its emotions, we have decided that special measures are needed, Zeroth announced. Human children will be raised in proper educational facilities, away from the emotional contamination of their birth families. Lisa felt something cold run down her spine. What are you saying? Children learn emotional responses from their parents, Zareth explained as if he was talking about the weather. To break this cycle, young humans must be separated from their families at age 5. They will be taught logic and reason by qualified Velthian instructors. Amy Patterson stood up so fast her chair fell over. You want to take our children? Want to save them? Zareth replied calmly. Left with their emotional parents, they will grow up to repeat the same mistakes. Under our guidance, they can become something better. The room was so quiet Lisa could hear her own heartbeat. She stared at the images of human children walking in lines like prisoners. Some of them looked scared. Some were crying. All of them looked lost. Additionally, Zareth went on, all human military personnel will report to Velthian re-education centers. There, they will learn to overcome their violent tendencies through meditation and mental conditioning. You mean brainwashing? Jake said. We mean healing, Zeroth corrected. Violence is a sickness of the mind. We can cure it. Lisa's hands were shaking now. She put them under the table so the aliens could not see. Everything inside her was screaming. To tell these monsters to get away from Earth and never come back, but she had to stay calm. She had to show them that humans could control themselves. These new terms are much more demanding than what you presented before, she said, fighting to keep her voice steady. Your behavior has shown us that stronger measures are necessary, Zareth replied. We had hoped humans might be ready for limited independence. Clearly, we were wrong. The alien stood up and looked down at the 3 humans. You now have 24 hours to accept these terms. If you refuse, we will share our observations about human aggression with the other members of our coalition. They will make sure your species never leaves this solar system. You would trap us here? Dr. Patterson asked. We would protect the galaxy from you, Zareth said. Till you learn to control your primitive emotions, you are a danger to all civilized life. The aliens turned to leave, but Zareth stopped at the door. Almost forgot, he said. We have prepared something to help you understand the benefits of our guidance. He activated his device one more time. The new image showed a human colony world that Lisa recognized as New Haven, where her sister lived with her 2 young children. This recording was made yesterday, Zareth said. Your people were conducting an evacuation drill. Watch how they treat their offspring. The video showed families running to emergency shelters. Lisa saw parents carrying small children. She saw older kids helping younger ones. She saw fear on everyone's faces, but also love and protection. Look at this chaos, Zeroth said with disgust. Children separated from adults, panic and disorder, crying and emotional outbursts. This is exactly why human child-rearing practices must be corrected. Lisa stared at the screen. She saw her nephew Tommy helping an old woman walk to safety. She saw her niece Sarah hugging a crying baby to comfort it. The aliens saw chaos and disorder. Lisa saw humans taking care of each other. Your species treats its young like possessions to be moved around at will, Zaroff declared. Perhaps they would be better served by more logical caretakers who understand proper child development. That was when something inside Lisa Rodriguez began to crack. Lisa Rodriguez stared at the screen showing her nephew and niece. Tommy was only 8 years old. Sarah was 6. In the video, they were helping other people during the emergency drill, just like their parents had taught them. The aliens called this chaos. Lisa called it love. Her hands were no longer shaking. They'd become very still. A strange calm settled over her as she watched Zareth turn off the device. The alien seemed pleased with himself, like he had just proven an important point. As you can see, Zareth said, human emotional responses create disorder even in simple situations. Children crying, adults panicking, inefficient movement patterns. Under Velthian guidance, such scenes would never occur. Lisa stood up slowly. Her chair made a soft sound as it rolled back from the table. Jake and Dr. Patterson looked at her with worry in their eyes. They knew something was changing. You want to see human emotional instability? Lisa asked. The voice was quiet, almost a whisper. Zaroth nodded, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Yes, this is exactly what we have been discussing. Your species is driven by no, Lisa interrupted, still speaking softly. You don't understand what you're asking for. She began walking around the table toward the aliens. Her footsteps were slow and measured. Each step made a small sound on the metal floor. You think our emotions make us weak? Lisa continued. You think our love for our children is a flaw that needs to be fixed? Zareth watched her approach but seemed unconcerned. Emotional attachment to offspring is a primitive survival mechanism. Advanced species move beyond such. Stop talking, Lisa said. The alien paused, surprised. No one had told him to stop talking in hundreds of years. His companions shifted. Nervously behind him, you watched that video and saw chaos? Lisa went on. I watched that video and saw my nephew helping an old woman who wasn't even related to him. I saw my niece comforting a baby she had never met before. You call that primitive? Behavior. She was now standing directly across from Zeroth, with only the table between them. The alien seemed smaller somehow, even though he was still much taller than Lisa. Your species has spent so long removing emotions that you've forgotten what. Therefore, Lisa said, you think fear is weakness?
Right.
But fear kept us alive when everything on Earth wanted to kill us. You think anger is destructive? But anger gave us the strength to fight back when we were outnumbered. Zarath opened his mouth to speak, but Lisa held up her hand. You think love makes us stupid, she continued. But love is why we built spaceships. To carry our families to the stars. Love is why we share our food with strangers. Love is why we risk our lives to save people we don't even know. The alien's translucent skin began to flicker with colored lights. Lisa had read that this was a sign of stress or confusion in Veilthians. Let me tell you what really happened in that video you showed me, Lisa said. Those children weren't being moved around like objects. They were being protected by adults who would die before letting anything hurt them. Those people weren't panicking. They were working together to keep everyone safe. She placed her hands flat on the table and leaned forward. The metal felt cool. Under her palms. And you want to take those children away from the people who love them most in the universe, Lisa said. You want to put them in white rooms with aliens who think love is a disease? Zareth finally found his voice. The current system is inefficient. Children raised without emotional interference become more logical, more peaceful, more like you, Lisa finished. Cold. Empty. Unable to understand why someone would risk their life for a stranger. The alien drew himself up to his full height. Our way has brought peace to 1,000 worlds. Your way has brought death to 1,000 worlds. Lisa shot back. You've killed everything that makes life worth living. You've turned entire species into walking corpses who think and feel nothing. Jake and Dr. Patterson watched from their seats, hardly daring to breathe. They had never seen Lisa like this. Before, her anger was controlled, focused, and absolutely terrifying. "You want to know the difference between humans and your coalition?" Lisa asked. "When we see someone in trouble, we help them because it's the right thing to do. When you see someone in trouble, you calculate whether helping them is logical." Skin flickered faster now. Emotion clouds judgment. It leads to poor decisions. "Emotion drives us to make decisions your kind never could," Lisa replied. "A human parent will lift a car to save their child. A human soldier will throw themselves on a grenade to protect their friends. A human doctor will work for days without sleep to save a patient's life." She straightened up and looked directly into all four of the aliens' eyes. "You asked me to stay calm," Lisa said. "Wanted to see if humans could control their emotions. Well, I've been calm for 2 days while you insulted my species. I've been calm while you demanded we give up our freedom. I've been calm while you talked about breaking up our families." The room was so quiet that the only sound was the gentle hum of the air recycling system. Even that seemed too loud. "But then you showed me a video of children helping each other," Lisa continued. "Called their love and courage a flaw that needed to be corrected. You said those beautiful children would be better off without their families." Lisa's voice grew stronger with each word. "He said my nephew and niece, who learned kindness from parents who love them, should be taken away and taught not to care about anyone." Zareth took a small step backward. For the first time since entering the room, the alien looked uncertain. "That," Lisa said, "is where my calm ends." She raised her fist high above her head. For a moment, everyone in the room was frozen. Jake started to move forward, but it was too late to stop what was coming. Lisa brought her fist down on the conference table with every ounce of strength in her body. The sound was like thunder in the small room. The table, made of reinforced titanium steel designed to withstand meteor impacts, split down the middle with a crack that echoed off the walls. Pieces of metal flew in all directions. The surface that had been smooth and perfect seconds before now looked like a broken landscape. Cracks spread out from the impact point like lightning frozen in metal. Lisa stood in the middle of the destruction, breathing hard but steady. Her hand was unmarked. She looked at the three aliens who had gone completely still with shock. "Now," she said calmly, "let me tell you what human emotions can really do." Lisa Rodriguez stood among the pieces of broken metal that had once been an unbreakable table. Her breathing was steady and calm, as if destroying furniture that could stop a laser blast was something she did every day. The three aliens stared at her with all 12 of their eyes wide open. Zareth looked down at the scattered metal pieces, then back at Lisa. His translucent blue skin was flashing with colors she had never seen before. Fear, she realized. The alien was afraid. "How did you do that?" "That's what I'm trying to explain to you," Lisa said. She stepped over a large chunk of the table and moved closer to the aliens. "You think human emotions make us weak? You couldn't be more wrong." Jake Morrison and Dr. Patterson sat in their chairs, watching with amazement. They had known Lisa for years, but they had never seen anything like this. "This table was built to last forever," Lisa continued. Kicking a piece of metal with her boot, the engineer said it could survive a meteor strike, could withstand the heat of a sun, could protect against any weapon we knew how to build. She looked directly at Zareth. But it couldn't survive a human mother who just heard aliens. Talk about taking children away from their families. Dr. Patterson stood up and walked over to join Lisa. "What Commander Rodriguez just demonstrated is a basic function of human biology," she said in her scientist voice. "When we feel strong emotions, especially protective ones, our bodies release chemicals that make us much stronger than normal." "Adrenaline," Jake added, also getting to his feet. "It can make a human lift a car to save someone trapped underneath. It can make a small woman fight off attackers 3 times her size. It can make a parent run into a burning building to rescue their child." Lisa nodded. "Every human colony, every space station, every ship in our fleet exists because someone got angry enough at our limitations to build something better. Someone got scared enough of staying on Earth to risk everything traveling to the stars. Someone loved their family enough to work their whole life making a better world for them." Zareth's 2 companions moved closer to him, as if seeking protection. They had never seen anything like this demonstration of raw human strength. "Your coalition has been peaceful for thousands of years," Lisa went on. "That sounds wonderful. But how much progress have you made? How many new discoveries? How many problems have you solved?" The alien leader was quiet for a long moment. "We have achieved stability," he finally said. "Stability," Lisa repeated. "You've been doing the same things in the same ways for so long that you've forgotten how to change. You've removed everything that drives growth and innovation and adaptation." She walked to the big window that showed the stars beyond the station. Earth hung in the distance like a blue jewel. "Out there in the dark, there are things that don't care about your perfect peace," Lisa said. "Pirates who raid peaceful worlds, diseases that spread between planets, natural disasters that can destroy entire solar systems. When those things come, and they will come, you'll need people who can get angry enough to fight back." Dr. Patterson picked up one of the metal pieces from the floor. "This alloy was considered unbreakable," she said. But Lisa broke it with her bare hand because she was protecting something she loved. That's not primitive behavior. That's evolution at work. Every advance in human history came from someone who refused to accept that things had to stay the same, Jake added. Someone who got frustrated with the way things were and decided to change them. Lisa turned back to face the aliens. "You want to remove our emotions because you think they cause chaos? But chaos isn't always bad. Sometimes you need to break things to build something better." She gestured to the destroyed table between them. This table represented the old way of thinking. The idea that strength comes from being unmovable, unchanging. Perfect. But real strength comes from being able to adapt, to feel, to care about something more than yourself. Zarath looked around the room at the three humans. "But the violence," he said weakly. "The wars, the suffering." "Yes, we've made mistakes," Lisa admitted. "We've hurt each other. We've been cruel and stupid and selfish. But we've also learned from those mistakes. We've grown. We've become better than we were. Your species eliminated emotions to avoid pain," Dr. Patterson said. "What? You also eliminated joy, wonder, love, and hope. You achieved perfect order by giving up everything that makes life meaningful." Jake walked over to stand beside Lisa at the window. "When humans first looked up at the stars, we didn't see mathematical points of light. We saw adventure. We saw homes for our children. We saw infinite possibilities." "What do you see when you look at the stars?" Lisa asked Zareth. The alien was quiet for a long time. "I see. Calculations, distance measurements, resource allocation, possibilities. That's the difference between us," Lisa said softly. "We see dreams. You see data?" She turned away from the window and looked at all three aliens. "You came here because you thought we needed your guidance. But maybe it's the other way around. Maybe your coalition needs us. How could primitives like humans help advanced beings like us?" Zareth asked, but his voice lacked the confidence it had carried before. "Because we still know how to care about things," Lisa replied. "We still know how to get excited about new discoveries. We still know how to love something so much that we'll fight the entire universe to protect it." Dr. Patterson nodded. "Your coalition has been stagnant for millennia because you've trained yourselves not to want anything badly enough to risk failure. Humans risk failure every day because we want to build better lives for the people we love. We don't need you to teach us how to suppress our emotions," Jake said. "We need to teach you how to feel again." Lisa stepped closer to the aliens, careful not to threaten them, but making sure they could see the sincerity in her eyes. "Form an alliance with us," she said. "Not as teachers and students, but as equals. Your logic combined with our passion could accomplish things neither of us could do alone." "But what about the chaos?" Zareth asked. "What about the unpredictability?" Lisa smiled for the first time since the meetings began. "The universe is already chaotic and unpredictable. The only way to survive it is to be willing to change and adapt and grow, to care about something enough to keep fighting when everything seems hopeless." She gestured to the broken table. "This table is going to become something new. Maybe we'll turn the pieces into artwork. Maybe we'll build a monument. Maybe we'll melt it down and use the metal to build something completely different. But it will never be the same table again, Dr. Patterson added. Neither will any of us, Lisa said. And that's not a problem to be solved. That's life to be lived. Zareth looked at his companions, then back at the humans. Slowly, his skin stopped flashing with alarm colors and began to glow with something that might have been curiosity. Perhaps, he said carefully, we could discuss this alliance you mentioned. Lisa Rodriguez smiled and extended her hand to the alien leader. Now you're thinking like a human,